Hello everyone. Today we will be discussing the 18th chapter of Charaka Chikitsasthana, which is about Kasa Chikitsadhyaya. So this falls soon after Hikka and Shwasa, as this is also involving the Pranavaha Srotas. I have mentioned this chapter along with explanation of Hikka and Shwasa. So let's see what are the important aspects of this chapter and how the treatment of Kasa need to be done as per Charaka's opinion. So to tell about this disease called Kasa, we all know that Pranavaha Srotas is a vital system of body, and although this Srotas is more susceptible to abuse from little amount of smoke, allergies, adulterants, petrochemicals and many pollutants in the atmosphere, there is a variety of disorders and diseases that are temporarily harmless, while others can be life-threatening. So our Pranavaha Srotas, we know that it is a very delicate system. So it get infected with a very small amount of pollutants. But many of the diseases, what is happening to the Pranavaha Srotas are temporary or harmless. But many of them are very much serious and life-threatening. In literature, Pranavaha Srotas diseases are elaborated under the heading of Shwasa, Kasa, Hikka, Rajayakshma and Urakshata. So these are the main diseases what can happen in the Pranavaha Srotas. They are Shwasa, Kasa, Hikka, Rajayakshma and Urakshata. So many other diseases are there which are not even considered as disorders. They are rather than taken as a lakshanas of it. So most of the common symptoms that can happen in the Pranavaha Srota Vikaras are cough, expectoration, breathlessness, sore throat, chest pain, and common clinical features of respiratory diseases. And among all these, Kasa is one such disease which is identified by hoarse phonetic sound produced due to pathological process of dosha dushti, vimarga gamana of pranavata and avarna of vayu by kapha. So this disease is peculiar by its lakshana of hoarse phonetic sound. Like when you uh, cough, there is a hoarse phonetic sound that is happening while you cough it. So that is produced because of the dosha dushti, vimarga gamana of pranavayu and avarna of vayu by the kapha. So this is the peculiarity of this disease. And the main pathology in the chest region with reduced functioning of the respiratory system is another thing what is being associated with Kasavyadi. Going ahead, small infectants like smoke, dust, or overexposition are largely considered as the causative factor or Samanya Nidana. Even though Charaka has not explained the Nidana in this chapter, we take as it a Samanya Nidana from reference to other chapters of Hikashwasa as well as from the Nidana Sthana. So the main cause direct damage to the harmony of the pranavaha srotas which occur in all respiratory disorders. Apart from the above said causative factor, some in particular like Guru, Snigdha, Madhura, Asatmya, Parushata Ahara will vitiate the dosha, more specifically Vata and Kapha, which in turn have its impact on Pranavaha Srotas to cause structural and functional impairment, or we call it as Khavaigunya. So apart from Samanya Nidana, there is also Vishesha Nidana which will be dealt in independently when the independent diseases are going to be explained, and this is going to cause the particular structural as well as functional damage to the pranavaha srotas and cause the disease called as kasa. Improper diet will result in improper digestion and absorption of ahara rasa, which in turn produces kasa. So one cause of this is improper digestion and improper absorption of ahara. This can be considered as an intrinsic factor for the pathogenesis. So if you consider all the pathogenesis in general, then we can consider this as one of the causative factors as well. And predominant symptoms are irritation of throats, pricking sensation, itching, or kandhu, inability to swallow. These are the pururupas which we will be seeing in the next slide. And these are much similar to the upper respiratory tract infections, leading to the condition of pharyngitis or pharyngotonsillitis, and persistence of such upper respiratory tract infections will further spread to the lower respiratory tract also. So in the initial stage, we see the lakshanas which are more similar, or the pururupas and starting like Vadaja Kasa lakshanas are more seen to be as symptoms of upper respiratory tract infection, but later when you come to the kaphaja and pittaja conditions, they are more or less in the lower respiratory tract. So these five types of kasa, namely Vataja, Pittaja, Kaphaja, Shetaja and Shayaja kasa. In Vataja kasa, as I told you, more related to upper respiratory tract infections with Swarabheda as its diagnostic features is unproductive. It resembles more allergic rhinobronchitis, which may be self-limited and is curable in condition. Whereas the other condition like Pittaja and Kaphaja kasa involve the lower respiratory tract, as I told you, and are productive in nature, while Paitika kasa seems to be resultant in inflammation. In case Kaphaja kasa is more muco-hypertrophic of the bronchial linings and chronic bronchitis. Shataja kasa is a state of chronic cough associated with emaciation. Sarga has mentioned that the disturbance in the action of Jatrakni, all the three doshas get vitiated, which causes emaciation of the dhatus of the body, either due to anilomakshaya or pradhilomakshaya. That makes it different from Srotas, which is Tridosha diseases, manifest as a group of several diseases. So this can be taken as the pathology for Kshaja Kasa, just like the what is it, Shatashina causative factor. The same is being explained over here. And in case of Kshatasha Kasa is associated with break in integrity of lung parenchyma with Shonita Darshana, such as a symptoms. There may be not be Shosha in this. So Shataja is because of injury. We'll see all these things in detail in the next classes. Snehapana, Vamana, Virechana, Vairika, Nasya, Dhumapana are indicated as the treatment modalities in different kinds of kasa. So this talks about the introduction of kasa. Now let's see what are the Pururupa and Samprapti of kasa in general. So Pururupa of kasa says that Pururupam bhavet शूकपूर्ण गलास्यतः कंठे कंठुश्च भोजनामयम् अवरोधश्च जायते. So they say that in the gala asyata, in the throat and in the mouth region, there will be shuka purnata. Shuka purnata means the patient feel as if it is being filled with thorns. So that will be one sign. You might also experience cough when you had cough. You might have seen that you feel that there is some thorns situated inside your buccal cavity or in the there is some pricking sensation in your throat. So that is one Pururupa which is predicting that kasa is going to occur. Or you may have it kantu in the kantha, in the throat region. There will be kantu and bhojanam anavasham avarodhacha. There will be an inability in the swallowing of food. Bhojananam avarodhacha. There will be obstruction in swallowing the food, or you will feel some kind of difficulty in swallowing the food, which indicates that a forthcoming kasa as its Pururupa. Now coming to the Samprapti of this disease, Samprapti is very important and very simple to understand. They say that Ataha Pratihato Vayur Urdhosrodho Samasritaha. So what happens is that the Vayu which is getting obstructed in the lower, which is situated in the lower part of the body, moves upward and afflict the channels of circulation in the upper part of the body. And this Vayu, when it comes in the upper part of the body, takes over the function of Udana Vayu and get localized in throat and the chest region. So first Vayu get aggravated and move to the upper part of the body. Then it comes and hamper Udana Vayu, its normal functions, and it's get localized in the throat and the chest region. Next, it will get localized in the what do you say throat and the chest region. Now, when it is getting throat, then entering all cavities of head fills the mouth and causing hunching and convulsive movement in body, jaw, sides of the neck and eyes. So once it gets in the throat and the chest, and it will enter the head and it will fill entire cavities of the head, then it will cause hunching of the body. Hunching of the body means some kind of contraction or bowing the body towards the front. That is called a hunching. And it will also cause some convulsive movement, hunching, and it will also cause some convulsive movement of the body, jaw, sides of the neck and eyes. So this is a step-by-step process how you cough. First you will bow down, then there will be some convulsions will happen to the all these areas. And after that, the obstructed vayu causes contraction and stiffness of the eyes, back, chest, and side of the chest, giving rise to kasa. Then from the stiffness, it will cause from the side, whatever vata is getting obstructed, that will cause stiffness in the chest region, especially in the back of the chest, etc. Then there will be a forceful expulsion of these things by the form of kasa, sometimes dry and sometimes with phlegm, which is known as kasa. So one of the important some this is that kasanat kasam uchyate. So this particular shushko va sakafo va api kasanat kasam uchyate. So this particular production of kasa is being explained, and the peculiarity of kasa is that it is coughing. That is why it is called as kasa. The reason why it is been named as kasa is what kasanat. It cough. It you will forcibly expel the things outside, and hence the disease is called as kasa. So I once again summarize you in this diagrammatic manner. First, vayu get aggravated, it moves to the upper part of the body. It will take away the udana vayu and it get localized in the throat and the chest region. It will hamper the udana vayu first, then it will get located in the throat and the chest region. Then it will enter into the head. It fills the empty channels of the head, whatever is present. Then this will lead to the different symptoms, starting with hunching of the body, then mild convulsions in the eye, in your what you say, in your jaw, side of the neck and eyes. Then after that, there will be a stiffness or contraction from the eyes, from your chest, especially in the back of the chest. And after that, you will be having a forceful expulsion of all these things, which we call it as kasa. And this may be dry or this may be with sakafa. And because of this production of coughing, we call this disease as kasa. So I hope you understood the samprapti of it. Now coming to the pratyatma lakshana of kasa is that वेदने शब्द वैशिष्ट्यात् कासान् अनुपयुज्यते प्रतिघात विशेष तस्य वायु सम रहस्यः वेदनात् शब्द वैशिष्ट्या कासात् अनुपयुज्यते. So the pratyatma lakshana, or the exclusive symptom of kasa is that because of the obstruction of vayu by different specific varieties of pain and sound associated with different types of kasa is caused by specific nature of obstruction by kapha to that of forceful moving vayu. So when this vayu is coming outside with a very high force, there is an obstruction of this happening with the help of kapha. And the way it obstructs the vayu, sometimes it will be obstructing very severely, sometimes it will be mildly obstructing. Because of that, different kinds of vedana and different kinds of sound is being produced. And this disease is called as kasanam upayujyate. This disease is called as kasa, and this is the pratyatma lakshana of kasa. Okay. So with this, I will conclude today's talk. We will be continuing with Vadita Kasa, Nidana Lakshana, etc. in the next video. I thank you very much for your watching this video. In case of any doubts, we will come up with the explanation in the interaction classes. Thank you very much.